Namaste. Today I am going to be guiding a short restorative yoga practice followed by yoga nidra for cultivating peace. And this practice is day one of a free 5-day immersion, which I'll talk a little bit more about at the end. So for now, I'm going to let you know what type of props you might gather in your home or in your space, and we'll begin. So for today's yoga practice and yoga nidra, I have some pillows here. You might have some pillows in your house. If you have a bolster, that's even better. But a few pillows will do. If you have yoga blocks, that's great as well. But again, there's other items that you could use, whether it's couch cushions or pillows, rolled up blankets. You can get creative with this type of practice if you don't have bolsters and blocks at home or other yoga items. I do also have a yoga mat beneath me. So if you need to pause this video to grab a few items, I'll encourage you to do that, because these little mini pre-practices before going into a yoga nidra practice really make a huge difference in terms of the levels of relaxation or the states of consciousness that are achieved in the practice. It's just really something that I want to encourage, and is one of the reasons that we are creating this restorative yoga immersion for all of you, not only to cultivate peace in the world, but also to really demonstrate how some of these little mini different types of pranayamas, movement practices, restorative yoga practices can really facilitate deep states of rest and also help to down-regulate the nervous system into parasympathetic states. And there are just so many wonderful benefits, and we hear all of the time at the School of Living Yoga, time and time again, how much of a difference it makes when we bring in these pre-practices, which traditionally in yoga nidra, there are so many pre-practices that take place before going into the state of yoga nidra. And so we'll explore some of those throughout this immersion. So you can begin by finding a comfortable seated position, and that might be sitting up on a pillow or sitting up on a block if you're not comfortable sitting down on the earth or on your yoga mat. And then once you've found that comfortable seated position, you begin to move with the breath by inhaling, drawing hands onto the shoulder, inhaling to roll the shoulders, roll the elbows forward and up, and then exhaling to roll back and down. We'll do this a few times. So inhaling to roll forward, up, and exhaling down and around. And begin to move with your breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling around. And you might close down through the eyes and begin to notice the sounds of this recording, of the jungle, of the water. You might hear the ocean in the distance. Good. Deepening the breath, moving with the breath, and coming into presence here with the sounds, reversing the direction of the circles. Continuing to take those deep breaths through the nose. And as you're listening, might you begin to relax the jaw, the eyes, one more big circle in this direction. And then letting your hands come down to rest in the lap. On the next breath in, reaching the arms out and around the body up towards the sky. And then on the exhale, bending the elbows, bringing the arms into cactus position, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then inhaling to reach back up to the sky. Exhaling to lower into cactus position, squeezing shoulders together, and then following your breath. Good, and the next time that you exhale into cactus position, inhale to reach the arms up, and then exhale to roll the wrists down and around the body. Bringing the fingertips down on the right side. Inhale to stretch the left arm up. Exhale over into lateral stretch. And then inhale to rise back up. Letting your arms sweep to the other side, and exhaling into lateral stretch. And then we'll flow like that again. You might close down for the eyes. Exhaling to stretch through the side body. Inhaling to reach. Exhale to the other side. Good. The next time that you inhale to center, just stretching your arms out and around you. You might imagine you're holding the shape of a big full moon. Opening the fingers wide, opening through the chest, taking a couple of deep breaths here. And this immersion will have the 5th day, the final practice, be culminating on the full moon. Just to help amplify the energy of peace that we'll be creating together in the next few days. One more big breath here. And then releasing, rolling the wrists down. And then could you inhale to draw the shoulders up towards the ears, exhale, rolling back and down, and then over to the left side. Inhaling the left shoulder up towards the ear, exhaling back and down, over to the other side. Inhaling up, exhaling back and down. And we'll just begin to sway a little bit here from side to side. Some warming movements for the shoulders, the upper back, the arms. Just to open up for this restorative posture that we'll be moving into in just a moment. Deep breath in, exhaling down. We'll do one more on each side. And then the next time that you draw the shoulders back and down, draw the chin down to the chest. Inhale to roll one ear over to the shoulder. And exhale to roll the chin back down to the chest. Inhale over to the other side. Exhale down to center. A couple more on each side. If it feels good to do a full circle with the neck, you can explore that in one direction and then the other. Beautiful. And we begin to make our way down into the first restorative posture of this practice. And it'll depend what you have at home for your items, but I'll show you how I'm going to set this up with what I have here today. And I'm going to be setting up for a restorative fish pose, Matsyasana. So I'm actually going to set up my blocks just like this. I don't have a bolster. If you have a long bolster at home, you might put your bolster this way on the mat. And if it's not comfortable to lay right onto the blocks, you might actually take a pillow on top. So there's a couple of different options for opening the chest, and one of them is a couple of blocks and a pillow on top, or a bolster. I like to support my head back here with another block. And I also sometimes will bring some support behind my knees or under the hands. That could look like a block or a pillow on either side, like this. And just bringing my sacrum up nice and close to the edge of the bolster there, and then my head actually rests pretty nicely just there on that level that I have my block. Some of you might choose to adjust the level of your block. There's 3 different heights, so you might adjust the level to a different height, or you might put a little pillow underneath, but you want the head and neck to feel nice and supported. From there, taking the fingertips to the clavicles in the center of the small of the throat, and then just tracing along the clavicles to open the chest, and then relaxing the hands down onto the earth or onto those props that you might have for support, maybe a block on either side, maybe a pillow on either side. And if there's any discomfort in the body, please know that you can come right back up and start to play with the placement of your items. Some of you will feel nice to just have the legs extended long here in fish pose. Some people like to cross the legs or bring the legs into a different position. Some people like to bend the knees. So it's all about what feels best in your body so that you can start to rest deeply here into the support of the props. So notice if there's any little adjustments that you need to take in your body or with your support, with your props. And then closing down through the eyes. Notice if there's anything you could do to get even just another % more comfortable. And then might you just wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Begin to relax your jaw, your eyes becoming heavy. And then begin to notice your breath. Just taking a steady, easeful rhythm of breath and sort of expanding the chest with each breath into the lungs. Each exhale, you might imagine your body just releasing a little bit more effort. Supported fish pose, a beautiful heart opening posture. And we'll be here for several moments, so know that if at any point you feel the urge to release the posture, listen to your body. You can come down to Shavasana or into a side laying position. But if you're comfortable and relaxed, just continuing to fall into the rhythm of your breath here. You might start to establish a samavriti pranayama, an equal rhythm of inhale and exhale. Maybe inhaling to a count of 4 and exhaling to a count of 4. Or maybe a count of 6 or 8. It should feel easeful and relaxing in that rhythm, equal rhythm in and out. Opening up to the experience of sound. Letting this breath and this posture begin to soothe your nervous system, promoting feelings of calm, allowing yourself to relax a little deeper. And you might even begin to invite a sensation of peace. You might bring to mind something that allows or invites a sensation, a somatic experience of peace. And this might be something as simple as a walk in the forest, or the sound of birds singing. Maybe the visual of a peaceful river or lake. Or it might be the aroma of your favorite warm beverage, or a flower that you love. Inviting different aspects of your life that help to bolster a sense of peacefulness. And just imagining or sensing those different aromas or visuals. And allowing yourself to just sort of bask in the feelings of peace. As if you could invite a sense of peacefulness into your heart, into your inner world. And just a few more breaths here, cultivating this sense of peacefulness within. And taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And one more time like that, deep breath in and out. And if you feel fully comfortable and at ease, and like this supported fish posture would be an optimal position for you to continue your practice of Yoga Nidra in, then you could stay right here just as you are. But if you'd like to transition either to Savasana or a supported Shavasana, and I'll give one other option as well for a Yoga Nidra posture that you might like to try. Then you can begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And with as little effort as possible, begin to come out of this pose. So you might push any props to the side that you have your hands resting on if you took that option. And then bending the knees one by one if your legs were extended or crossed. And then just a gentle roll over into a fetal position to remove the props from behind you. If you have a pillow, you might come onto that pillow in a side laying position for a deep breath or two. And if there's a bolster or blocks behind your back, then just moving those off to the side. And you might come down into Shavasana. And I'm also going to give another option. If you know how to get into a supported Shavasana, you might come into that. Or if you have a couple of bolsters or a stack of pillows that you can use, I'm going to suggest one more option, restorative option that might feel really good to come into in your Yoga Nidra practice, which is really just to get some height underneath of the knees so that the thighs start to come into more of a vertical position, but they're completely supported. So as you can see, my thighs aren't super vertical here, but if I had a couple of bolsters, they might be a little bit more in that vertical position. So I'm just going to try putting a couple blocks underneath to see if that gets me a little bit more height, maybe a stack of blocks here, and then a pillow on top, maybe a pillow behind my head. Let's see how that. So that is a little bit more vertical in my thighs, and then I can just I'll tuck my tailbone under a little bit and let my feet relax, and then palms come to open, and that can be a really nice position, just getting lots and lots of support under the thighs, under the legs, and letting the upper legs be a little bit more in a bit more of an incline or a vertical position. And beginning to settle in for a short Yoga Nidra. And as we go into the experience, taking any final adjustments that you might need to get even more comfortable here. And begin to relax down into the earth beneath you. And begin to welcome the sounds of the jungle, the sounds of the water, and the ocean in the distance. Know that it is encouraged to move or shift your body at any point along the way if you need to adjust for even more comfort. Allowing the head to be in a comfortable and neutral position so that you don't drift off into deep sleep. Making sure that your low back feels comfortable and stable here. Each exhale settling into ease and stillness as you close down through the eyes. Could you get even 1% more comfortable? remaining open to sensations and taking in the different sounds, and allowing the body to relax by way of the breath, inhaling through the nose, a momentary pause, and then exhaling through the mouth. In through the nose, momentary pause and release, becoming heavy. Inhale one more time, pausing and letting go. Allow your attention to rest lightly at the nostrils as you settle back into a natural breathing rhythm, relaxing the face, relaxing the jaw, the tongue, the eyes, temples softening, forehead, releasing all effort in the face, the head becoming heavy. Continuing to release tension throughout the entire body. Hands, shoulders, belly and pelvis, legs and feet. All the way down to the toes. Begin to welcome the vast presence that abides within your heart, the center of the chest. Sensing the intelligence here in your heart, and welcoming your sankalpa, your intention to be here. Welcoming it with your whole heart and being. And if you don't have an intention that you're working with, you might welcome the phrase, I am cultivating peace and calm. I protect my inner peace. Whispering 3 times mentally. And now, rotating attention throughout the physical body, beginning with sensations at the crown of the head. And if you feel drawn to it today, You might imagine placing a mantra at each focal point of awareness. The word for peace in Sanskrit is Shanti. You might repeat the word Shanti or peace at each point of awareness. Could you bring all of your attention from the crown of the head to the center of the forehead, to the right eye, the left eye, the right side of the nose, left side of the nose, the right earlobe, the left earlobe, the roof of the mouth, the right side of the tongue, left side of the tongue, the root of the tongue, the center of the throat, the pit of the throat, the heart center, right side of the chest, right shoulder, right elbow, wrist, palm of the hand, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth, the small finger, the underarm, the right side of the waist, the hip, knee, ankle, sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third, fourth, little toe. Letting all of your attention gather back in the center of the heart. Peace, Shanti. From the heart center to the left side of the chest, the left shoulder, elbow, wrist, palm of the hand, thumb, second finger, third, fourth, and the little finger, the underarm, left side of the waist, hip, knee, ankle, sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third, fourth, little toe, back to the heart center, Shanti, peace. From the heart center to the center of the throat, the center of the forehead, And as you're sensing the forehead, could you notice the rhythm of your breath? Imagining a full moon here in the center of the forehead. As you feel each breath, could you imagine inhaling through the center of the forehead to the midbrain and exhaling back out through the center of the forehead? Just imagining. Could inhale through the center of the forehead and exhale back out through the center of the forehead. Natural and gentle rhythm of breath. Imagining in through the forehead, out through the forehead. And then letting your attention drop down into the throat center. Once again, imagining a full moon here at the throat center. Breathing in through the throat, breathing out through the throat. Just imagine. You breathe in to the center of the throat and out through the center of the throat. And now letting your attention drop down into the heart. As you sense your heart, imagining a full moon here at the heart center. Imagine you could breathe in through the heart center, out through the heart center. Inhaling directly into the center of the chest. Exhaling back out through the center of the chest. Just imagining. Releasing this. And now welcoming into your consciousness a peaceful, calm, serene lake, glassy as a mirror, with beautiful clouds reflecting on the water's surface. The pink and orange colors of the sunset reflecting off of the clouds, mirrored in the glassy water. Rain clouds in the distance, creating a massive rainbow across the sky. As you watch the serene waters and beauty of the sunset, you start to take in the aromas of rain and plant life and the most beautiful fragrances of flowers. You sense the warmth of the sun on your skin, and you take a moment to really appreciate the natural peace of nature. The symphony of birds, the calm and peaceful true nature of life. As you begin to appreciate the calm and peaceful natural world, you begin to become flooded with peaceful images and moments that create a somatic experience in your body, basking in the feelings of peace, calm, serenity, and allowing yourself to rest here in this peaceful oasis, simmering in the qualities of peace. As you bask here in the true nature of peace, might you welcome your sankalpa once again, repeating mentally or welcoming it somatically as an experience within your body. And then begin to once again welcome the sounds of this recording. Sounds of the jungle, cicadas, birds, water, the ocean in the distance. And beginning to now deepen your breath. Begin to lengthen your inhale. And really feeling the earth beneath you as you begin now to sense your physical body. Noticing the volume of your body and the space that you occupy. Might you begin to deepen your breath even more and begin to move the toes and move the fingers, continuing to welcome the sounds of this recording and the sounds in your own environment. And now a deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And a couple more like that at your own pace. And then you might start to nod your head. You might stretch the arms up and overhead, maybe reaching out. The arms and the legs are rolling, the ankles and the wrists. Just demonstrating some of these gentle awakening postures. Sometimes I like to hug my knees into the chest and gently rock from side to side. Or sometimes I like to reach arms and legs up to the sky and roll the ankles and wrists round and round in this elevated, inverted type of way. Sometimes I'll bring the knees in to the chest and then start rolling these out and away and then back into the center, just sort of circling the hips round and round, and relaxing in slow way, maybe with a breath, inhaling to bring knees away from each other, exhaling to circle the knees back into center. A gentle awakening of the body. Sometimes I even like to bring my fingers around the big toes and stretch one leg up, feeling a stretch in the leg, and then over to the other side. It's not always accessible for all bodies, so you can also grab behind the legs and do the same sort of movement, just behind the thighs, and just explore one side and then the other. And then gradually rolling over to one side, laying in a side-laying fetal position for a couple of deep breaths. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then you might feel called to lay here on the side for several moments, or you might feel ready to come up to a comfortable seated position. And just taking a moment here just to notice how you feel, to notice the effects of this practice. You might close down the eyes and notice any sense of peace that has been bolstered or uncovered. Oftentimes I've realized with peace and peacefulness that it really is more true to our natural way of being. And sometimes we just have to peel back the layers of stress or anxiety or any other layers that might be covering over that sort of natural sense of peace that can abide within the self. And if that feels like a stretch, know that it did for me as well. And eventually I got there. So being patient and kind in the process, if that feels like something that doesn't quite feel attainable yet in this moment. And I'd love to thank you so much for joining me today for this Restorative Yoga and Yoga Nidra for peace. And as I mentioned before, this is day one of a 5-day Restorative Yoga Immersion for peace. So there's a large, vast group of beings who are participating in this together over the next 5 days, if you're finding this in real time. But you could do these practices anytime you find this video or anytime you find this immersion. We are currently moving towards the full moon, and that's a beautiful time to explore this together, as the feelings of peace that we create and those feelings of peace that we uncover will really be amplified by this natural cycle of the full moon energy. So everything becomes a little bit more amplified as we move towards the full moon in the natural world, including ourselves as human beings who are a part of this wildlife, of this nature. So I'd love to invite you to, if you haven't signed up, you can find a link below to sign up. The next 5 days will take place with myself and some of our other faculty at the School of Living Yoga, Tiina, Laura, Kristyn, Rose, and I. Day 5 will be Kristyn, Rose, and I leading a practice together of Restorative Yoga and Yoga Nidra. And we are also very excited to be opening for enrollment for our moon-to-moon Restorative Yoga teacher training. So this is a beautiful, beautiful yoga teacher training that happens online. It's self-paced, moves through the lunar cycles, and over time cultivates the skills in order to teach restorative yoga and guide others. But also it's really a journey of transformation within the self. We hear this time and time again from people who participate in the program. So it's also a wonderful opportunity for anybody that would like to deepen their practice or just dive really, really deep into restorative yoga. Like I mentioned, this is a really beautiful practice to support a Yoga Nidra practice into going deeper into states of relaxation and nervous system regulation, and more easily getting into some of those deeper states of consciousness. And some of you might also be wondering where I am right now. This beautiful yoga shala that I'm currently teaching in the beautiful sunset. As you can see, sun is setting behind me currently. And this is where we have led our last yoga retreat here in Costa Rica in the Uvita area. So if you're interested in learning more about that, myself and Kristyn and Tiina actually have been posting quite a bit about the experience on Instagram. So I'll invite you to check out here some of our Instagram pages and this hashtag Living Yoga Retreat Bliss, and you'll see some of the reels and posts that we've been making so that you can check out a little bit more about the experience. I'll also post the information package below to that, as well as to our restorative teacher training upcoming online. This is a lifetime access program with an online community with ongoing connection calls with the mentors in the training, as well as your peers in the training, with new moon and full moon circles each month, and live restorative yoga practice each week for the different lunar cycles. And it's just a really wonderful program that I encourage you to check out if it feels like something that you feel drawn to. Okay, so I hope that you continue to participate with us in this full moon immersion for peace, restorative yoga immersion for peace. I really think over the next 5 days there'll be a profound shift, especially within the collective, and that's just such a beautiful thing. This is really important work to do, this inner peace work, and uncovering those deep feelings of peace that really already exist. They're already here and they're available. So trust the process and keep coming back to the practices that help to uncover that peace within the self. Thank you again so much for joining us. Please leave me a comment below if you're here participating in the immersion. If you're participating here as we're going through this in real time, you can leave in your comment the word inner peace as a code word for me to let me know that you made it to the end of this video. And please enjoy day 2 with Tiina tomorrow. I'll post at the end of this video here a link also to the full playlist so that you can come back to this playlist and follow along with all of the different teachers on our channels. I hope that you have a most beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.